Hello, everybody. This is Dee from Dee's Cute and Crafty, and I'm back with 4 more spring and Easter wreaths for you today. This whole video is all about the wreath. They all came out super adorable. It was hard to pick a favorite, so let's just get into it. We're going to start out with some of the Spanish moss, some leftover burlap from another project that came from Dollar Tree. I have a wood bunny Dollar Tree, some MDF board. You know, I like to make my own things from MDF when I need to. I have 2 of the small wreaths from Dollar Tree, 2 tumbling tower blocks, Dixie Belle fluff, and Waverly antique wax, some wood glue, and these cute little like matte speckled eggs from Hobby Lobby. So I'm going to start out by just cutting down this burlap fabric into strips. Again, this came from Dollar Tree. It was new to my Dollar Tree this year. Never saw it before. Love it. Grabbed up quite a bit of it. I'm going to take it and wrap it around this small wreath. And we're just going to use one of these this way. The other one we're going to leave completely blank. This one we're going to wrap with the burlap. I just want to take this time to say thank you, everybody, for stopping by. To all my new subscribers, thank you so much for choosing Dee's Cute and Crafty. Welcome to the channel. Love having you here. Don't forget to interact and talk to me in the comments. And to all my ride or dies that have been with me since the beginning, I love you so much. Thank you for coming back. So now that that's all done, we are going to add the moss to it. And it doesn't matter that all these little pieces of burlap are sticking out, because as you can see, we're going to put moss on it. That's just going to add to the cuteness of it. Do make sure when you add your moss that you're adding it to the inside of the wreath, meaning the concave part of the wreath that dips in. You don't want it on the other side that bows out, because we're going to nestle those eggs down in there, and so they need somewhere to sit down into. So use the concave side of the wreath to add your moss and your eggs. I'm going to take my little MDF round that I made, and I just traced it out using the wreath. I put it on the MDF. I made my circle. I took my little wire cutters. I nipped around it and got it to a nice round shape as close as I could. Then I took my gator sander and I sanded around that, made it all nice and smooth. I took a ruler and I drew my shiplap lines. And now I'm taking my whittling tool from the Dollar Tree and I'm cutting those lines into the MDF. I like doing it this way because it just adds more texture. It makes the lines really crisp where you can feel them and see them. It gives it dimension. I love it. I did take my crocodile and I added 4 holes to this round MDF, 1 on either side and top and bottom. And now I'm giving it a really dry, rough coat, just a rough coat of the fluff by Dixie Belle. And I don't care if the wood's showing through, because I'm going to sand it and make it show through anyway to give it that rustic farmhouse charm that I absolutely love. Now that that's done, I'm going to take a little bit of the Waverly Antique Wax on a baby wipe and give this bunny just a very light coat, a very light stain. I didn't want it super dark. Now I'm going to take my eggs and get them hot glued down into the moss. I'm not being nice and neat about it as far as how they sit. They're not going to be symmetrical in a perfect line. They're going to be like side by side, turned here and there. And I thought that just added some interest to it, so that's why I did it. Now that I've got my eggs all glued down, I am going to take some paddle wire and I'm going to attach the MDF board to the wreath frame. Now that that's done, I'm going to take my 2 tumbling tower blocks using some wood glue and some hot glue. I'm going to get those attached to the center of the board just so I can give the bunny a little bit of elevation. And now I'm just setting the other wired frame on top. This is so cute. You get that little caged egg kind of look. It looks so farmhouse and so adorable. And I will be attaching that frame to frame using some of the paddle wire. I'm going in with some of my Dollar Tree farmhouse lace, and I'm going to cut that in half and tie a cute little bow for the bunny's neck. And with that other little piece of lace left over, I'm just going to make a little ball with it and attach it to the bunny's tail. I will take some more of that farmhouse lace and make my hanger and add a bow, and this little cutie is ready to be displayed. I absolutely love how she turned out. Is it my favorite of the 4? Nope, it's not. If you want to know which one my favorite is, you're going to have to keep watching. And as always, I need you to comment down below. Let me know which one is your favorite of the 4 that I'm bringing you today. I would love to hear what you guys think. Moving on to DIY number 2, I have all of these beautiful lilacs and lavender. I have these butterflies from Joann Fabrics. I have various ribbon from, I believe, Hobby Lobby, and some of it is from Dollar Tree. I have some from Temu. And I have this cream colored or white burlap from Walmart, along with this 12-inch wreath frame from Walmart, various paints in gray, black, white, brown, and burnt sienna. And I have one of the new Dollar Tree spring signs. We're just going to use the watering can from that sign. So I'm going to take all those various colors of paint and I'm just going to dab it on with a sponge until I get this old weathered rustic look on this can and make it look like it set out in the rain. I think that's going to be really pretty for this DIY. Now I'm going to take my 12-inch wreath frame from Walmart and I'm just going to wrap that burlap ribbon around it. And again, this came from Walmart. It's in stock all the time. I've had this in my stash for a while. And you guys, I'm sorry there's no breakaway in between each DIY where I show you a close-up of the DIY. I am running out of space on my SD card, so I had to condense it, but I'll show you everything at the end, so please bear with me. Now I'm going to take this lilac colored ribbon, lavender colored ribbon. I love purple. It's my favorite. And I'm just going to wrap it around the wreath form, just giving it a little extra color, a little pop of color, and a little bit more dimension and texture. All of the things. Adding a dab of hot glue to the ribbon at the back to secure it in place. Then I'm going to flip it over and start adding. Well, I thought I was going to add my florals. Looks like I'm going to add the little watering pot. I thought about just hot gluing it on, but I wasn't sure how well the metal would stick. I'm guessing it would have been okay, but I thought I'd just put some cardboard on the back of the watering can so I can hot glue cardboard to the burlap and the ribbon just to be sure it would stick. Now I'm going in with my florals and I'm just going to tuck those in. I'm not going to use any hot glue so I can repurpose them if I need to or want to at a later time, but you don't need any hot glue with this. This sticks in very securely. It's going through the burlap. I'm sticking it underneath the ribbon and it's in there really good. It's nice and full, and I love the look of this. I am now going to use my little butterflies from Joann Fabrics Bloom Room collection. They have flowers as well and various other picks and pieces. I just love these. You can't really see them that good with all the purple, but when I show you at the end, you'll be able to see them. I thought about painting them white, but decided to just leave them purple because purple's my favorite. So I'm going to make a bow, and I started out thinking I was going to make a big bow for the top of this wreath and changed my mind. You see that beautiful burlap and lace ribbon that I picked up from Temu, and I love it. It's really good quality. It wasn't that expensive. It was like $2, I think. And I don't know how much is on the roll. I'll have to look and see. But it was bigger than I needed, so I decided to go a different route. I didn't want to cut that ribbon down because it was so pretty. So I decided to just put a little bow on the handle of the watering can. I felt like that was going to be really nice for this DIY. With all the flowers on it, I thought a big bow was a little bit too much. So we're just going to put a little bow using the lavender and the blue gingham. And we're just going to attach that to the handle of the watering can. I am going to put a jute cord on the back, and DIY number 2 is done and ready to be displayed. Absolutely gorgeous, and still not my favorite. So keep watching. Moving on to DIY number 3, I'll be using this burlap ribbon from Dollar Tree. I have various other ribbons that you'll see from Joann's, from Big Lots, from Hobby Lobby, from everywhere. I'll be using these little bunny garlands. I want one of those off of there. I have a carrot from Dollar Tree and some yarn. I have a square frame from Dollar Tree, and also this wreath I picked up from Dollar Tree Plus. I just want some of the greenery off of it, and also some moss from Dollar Tree and my apple barrel pumpkin orange paint. You guys, this one is my favorite. I love it. Oh my gosh. Gorgeous. It's so pretty. Anyway, let's get into it. I'm just going to take that burlap and wrap it around the entire frame. That burlap ribbon, it's wired. It doesn't have to be wired for this. It's what I had on hand, so I'm using it. Please put your finger protectors on for this part. We are going to cover this thing in burlap. We're going to leave 2 corners diagonal from each other open. We're not going to put any moss on 2 corners diagonally across from each other because we're going to need that space to glue some things and to tie some things down. And I love the variation of this moss. I got some Spanish moss, some reindeer moss. I like the color and the texture difference when you put it all together. It's really pretty. Very messy, but absolutely gorgeous. And you can see where I left those diagonal corners open. Going to set that aside, and this is a new carrot from Dollar Tree this year. I love the size of it, and I do like the orange and the yellow, but we're going to do it solid orange. I want solid orange for this DIY, so I'm going to take some yarn that I had in my stash, probably picked it up at Joann's. It's not the Dollar Tree yarn because their skeins of yarn are a lot smaller. So this probably came from Joann's, and I'm just going to wrap it around the carrot, securing it with some hot glue. And now that I've got that done, I'm going to go in with my apple barrel pumpkin orange paint, and I'm just going to give it some dimension by adding some paint to the yarn. And also, it helps to cover up any glue that may have seeped through. We're just going to paint it all. Little spots here and there, just dabs of paint. And now that that's done, I'm just going to take my greenery and stick it in the top of the carrot. Absolutely love this greenery. It came in a lot of different color variation and texture. It is so pretty. I like the white pieces at the top. And I just stuffed it really tight, and I didn't have to use glue. I just put a lot of greenery in the top. And this carrot is so pretty. You can make a couple of these, bundle them together, put them in a bucket and put a bow on it. You could display them on a tiered tray, just use them in your decor. they're really, really pretty how this turned out. I'm taking some of the small Dollar Tree carrots and changing out the greenery on those. I don't like the cheapy paper greenery, so we're just going to make it a little bit more upscale. I'm putting in some of this greenery. And then I'm going to take one of the bunnies off of the garland. This is new to Dollar Tree this year as well. And you could definitely use the buffalo check side. I'm going to remove the little bunny tail. I'm going to sand it down where the staples were and paint it in my Dixie Belle fluff. I thought the buffalo check side was a little bit too busy with the buffalo check ribbon, the striped ribbon, and the burlap ribbon that I'm going to be using. So I just wanted to flip it over and paint it white and add a little like basket weave button for the tail because it makes it stand out more. And I'm going to go ahead and sand down the edges to expose some of that brown MDF board, and it gives it that rustic look that I absolutely adore. And I'm going to go ahead and tie a little jute cord bow for the back of the bunny's neck. And now that that's done, we're going to start placing our pieces, get them where we want them. Just placing them down, seeing how they look. And you can see I have just those, what do I want to call it? Just blank or corners with no moss is what I'm trying to say. Because it's going to be easier to get this glued down and to get my bows tied down. I've already made my bows ahead of time. You guys have seen me make bows 1,000 times on my videos, and all I do is make my loops. I do my dovetails. I pinch everything together and tie it off with some jute cord. I leave the jute cord long so that I can tie it onto my projects. And you see that it sits nicely down in that little corner without all the moss in it. And you can glue your carrots down nicely without all that moss being in the way. I'm just going to punch a hole through that burlap and take that jute cord and tie that bow down. I'm also going to take all my tails. I'm going to do them separately from the bow. I'm going to punch a hole through all of them, thread some jute cord through and get that tied off. And then I'm going to punch a hole in the bottom, the diagonal corner of that wreath, and thread that jute cord through that and tie the tails down. Then I'll take the bow that I made for the bottom and tie that down as well on top of those tails. This came out so much better doing it this way. It's not bulky. It's not, dripping with glue everywhere. Because I was able to tie it down, it just looks so much nicer. I left a little space in the corner for my tiny carrots so that I can get those glued down. Just a little dab of glue, but not much. We're going to fluff that bow out and bring it to life. I love a good bow fluffing. I do. And we're going to hot glue those carrots on that burlap that we left exposed. Gives them somewhere to nestle down in, gives them somewhere to sit without all of that moss. Just hot gluing the bunny down. And this beauty is ready to be displayed. I love it. Moving on to DIY number 4, I've got ribbon from Dollar Tree. I've got this longwood slat from Dollar Tree that I've cut in half. I have words, family, and home from Hobby Lobby. The same paint and wax I've been using, some wood glue. I have the rest of that grapevine wreath. We're going to use that. I have a jumbo craft stick that I've punched holes in either side. I've got flowers from the Bloom Room, which came from Joann's, these little tulips. I have some wildflowers and some hyacinths from Dollar Tree. I'm just going to cut all my flowers apart, getting them ready for this wreath. So we're going to take all of the greenery off of this wreath. It was glued on. It was tons of glue on here. And when I put my flowers on, I will not be using glue. And you guys, use the opposite side. Use the side without all the glue. I did not. I should have flipped it over and used the other side. I was so excited to get started. I didn't even do that. And although most of the glue is covered up, you still can see a little bit of it in spots. But you guys will do better. I know you will. So I'm not using glue for this. You don't need glue when you're using a grapevine wreath. You just tuck it down inside of that wreath and it stays nicely. So I'm adding all my florals. You guys, if you made it to this far of the video, give me a bouquet of flowers. And don't forget to give me a big fat thumbs up. That lets YouTube know that you're enjoying my content. They share me out so others can enjoy it as well, and the channel grows. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. So now I'm going to take that longwood slat. I cut it in half because I needed it to be wider. We're going to make a sign for the middle of the wreath. So I needed it to be a little bit wider. So I just cut it in half and used some wood glue and some hot glue to get it secured together. I'm also going to be using my jumbo craft stick to give it a little bit more stability. I like to put some wood in the middle of a seam. When you glue two pieces together like that, it secures it a little bit more, helps it hold together. So that's why I do it. And also for this DIY, that little bit of jumbo craft stick on either side helps attach it to the center of that wreath. I punched holes in it and it'll allow me to wire it to that wreath, which worked out perfectly. Going in with the Waverly Antique Wax and giving this just a little bit of a stain. And then I did end up choosing the word family. I painted it in my Dixie Belle Fluff and I used a little bit of wood glue and hot glue to secure it to the middle of the sign. And that's all this one took. I made a bow for it, and it is gorgeous. Here you see me taking my paddle wire and attaching my sign in the middle. And again, you guys, I do apologize for not having each individual clip in the middle, but it was either there was no way I could do it and get this video up. I was going to have to cut one of the DIYs completely out of the 4 that I made in order to free up space to do the little clips in between. And I didn't want to do that. So I'll show you everything at the end. And then I have to delete a lot of stuff off my card for the next video. So here you see me making my bow. I'm going to take this beautiful pink and purple ribbon from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to do 3 loops per side. I'm going to take the yellow grosgrain from Dollar Tree as well and do the same, 3 loops for each side. I will then take my tails. I'll do my tails, dovetail each end, and then I will stack, pinch, and tie. And then I'll take that and tie it to the wreath. I'll leave that jute cord long so that I can tie it on, because I'm trying to use very little glue for these wreaths. This one screams spring. Oh my goodness, it's just beautiful. Or maybe I'm just in the happy-go-lucky spring mood. The weather is nice here. My hyacinths have started to come up, and I have dark purple, light purple, white, and pink. And I'm just excited for the weather just because it's warm out. I love it. It puts me in a good mood. But this wreath is gorgeous. Just tying on my bow and giving it a fluff, bringing it to life. Because I want my tails to sit a certain way, I'm going to just add a little dab of hot glue so that they stay in place. Attaching my family word, and this one's done. And I didn't even make a hanger for the back. This wreath came with a hanger, but I didn't even use the hanger to hang it. I hung it actually on the grapevine wreath itself. It's able to be hung from that. Gorgeous. She's done. And here it is, you guys, the final reveal of everything I've made for you today. All 4 of these came out so beautiful. I love them all, but I had to choose a favorite, and the bunny wreath, the square bunny wreath with the big carrot on it, it won out. It just stole my heart. It was different, unusual to me, and it just had so many small details, and you guys know I love the detail work, so it really stood out to me, and it is my favorite. You guys comment down below. Let me know which one's your favorite. If you've made it to this far of the video, leave me a bouquet of flowers. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Do all the things that helps my channel grow and keeps me going. It keeps me crafting for you guys. So please do that for me. As always, be blessed, stay safe. And until I see you in my next one, craft something beautiful today, you guys. Bye.